Hello, time for an afternoon edition of Mornings with Stanley. It's Saturday, and this morning I took the dogs for a walk, and then I went to Hico, Texas. Went to a funeral there. Hico, of course. I served as pastor at First United Methodist Church of Hico for 5 years, and one of the church members there, a friend of mine named Cindy Vaughn, she was diagnosed with cancer. I didn't know this long ago, but back in 2005, and she'd been through a lot, divorce, and the cancer treatments kept her from being able to work real steadily, and finally she had a cousin who owned a house in Hico, and Cindy was living in Amarillo, and her cousin said, "Why don't you come and move to my house in Hico, take care of the house?" And she moved down there with 8 dogs or 6 dogs, or I think it was 8 dogs originally, 6 puppies and their parents, all Labrador retrievers. And anyway, she lived there for a while. She joined the Methodist Church and dealt with the cancer. She knew she was never going to be cured. She was on chemo the whole time, and last week she said she was tired and didn't want to have any more treatments, and she died like the next day. So anyway, she was a good friend. I hadn't seen her in a while, but nice lady. So I went up there to the funeral, and of course there's social distancing. They just actually started worshiping. We a couple of weeks ago, I think first Sunday in October maybe. Tomorrow will be the 3rd Sunday. We of course at St. Mark have been doing it since June. But anyway, then talked to another church member who was there, and went out to eat in a new barbecue place in Hico, and went off my diet, and then I wanted something sweet, so I went to the gas station there, and where they had a good convenience store, and bought some cookies, and I wish I'd gotten something a little bit better. I wanted something sweet, and it was good, but it wasn't as good as, it was just, grandmother's cookies or whatever. And then I came home, and Stanley and Lucy greeted me at the door, and I opened the door, and they mowed the lawn today while I was gone. So the only reason I really knew that was because the back gate was wide open when I came in, and the dogs were inside. Dog door closed. It wasn't a big deal, so I just had to make sure the other gate was closed, and it was. So here we are. Thought I'd record this before I got out of my suit so I could wear scummy clothes the rest of the day. Stanley is enjoying his scratch session right now. Okay, let's put you out of the room so I can finish this. Okay? Okay. Let's go. Good boy. Okay. Today we are going to Romans chapter 8. No, chapter 13. I'm sorry, chapter 13 of Romans. I guess Romans 8 is such a great chapter that just popped into my head. This is Romans chapter 13, verse 8 through 10. And owe no one anything except to love one another. For the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. The commandments: you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet, and any other commandment are summed up in this word: love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor, therefore love is fulfilling of the law. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. I forgot to say that. Mention Lucy today. Lucy is outside. She just loves going outside. It's a nice, cool, it's in the 60s, I think, right now. Feels like it. No, it's 76 it says, but the wind's blowing, so it feels cooler. Anyway, she just likes to be outside. Here's our reading for today. Rooted and grounded in love, this last day of week 26. Paul speaks of being rooted and grounded in love. That's Ephesians 3:17. The roots of love are in us, and when we put those roots into the world, ground in God, then we are rooted and grounded in love. The roots and the soil fit each other as the stomach and the food fit each other. If we put our roots of love into the soil of God's love, we bear fruit. And the first fruit is love. But suppose we put the roots of our love into the soil of self-love, then we bear bitter fruit, the fruit of unhappiness and frustration. If we put the roots of our love into sex as an end in itself, then love will turn to lust and the fruit will be disgust. If we put the roots of our love in the soil of the world, life organized without God, then we eat the Dead Sea fruit of disappointment that turns to ashes in our mouths. But when the roots of our love are grounded in God's love, that soil nourishes us with everything required for growth and maturity. You don't have to try to be mature, you just are mature. You are natural, unstrained, receptive. As I was about to plant some fruit trees in Sattal, India, an agricultural expert said to me, put a layer of manure at the bottom of the pit, then a layer of earth, then another layer of manure, and another layer of earth, and so on clear to the top. The roots will always be reaching for a deeper level of richness and will send the tree higher as its roots go deeper. When planted in the soil of God, we are constantly reaching new levels of richness. The more we get, the more we know there is to get. Our maturity is only relative maturity. For the more mature we become, the more maturity there is to be had. So we never come to a static maturity. It is always a growing maturity, and the maturity is effortless and unstrained. We live by passive receptivity, a passive receptivity which is an active passivity. He gives, we receive, and then we give. He gives, we receive, and then we give. The glorious circle of love from him to me, to others. Here's our prayer for today. Oh Father, I am rooted and grounded in love, in you. I need not be anxious about my fruits if my roots are in you. The fruits will take care of themselves. Help me to have all my roots in you, and then there will be no mixed fruit. Amen. And here is our affirmation for the day. Rooted and grounded in love, all my fruit shall be the fruit of love. Jesus is Lord.